Erik ten Hag's time is over at Manchester United. Now, you're thinking that might be breaking news this weekend or even the weekends to come because he hasn't really done the best of jobs at Manchester United. Obviously, we saw what happened a couple of weeks ago against Coventry in the semi-finals where effectively his job was saved in that penalty shootout. But as we look to the culmination of this season and look towards the new season, the question is Erik ten Hag the right man for Manchester United? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sani-That sports guy talking all things sport. And of course, today we're speaking football, we're speaking Manchester United, and we're speaking about Erik ten Hag. Joining me today are two absolute great esteemed guests, and they're backed by popular demand. That is, of course, Manraj and Mr Singh. They're back with a bang, and we need to go straight into this one. I want to come straight to Mr Singh because he was giving me a lot of grief about, Coventry are going to do this, Coventry are going to do that. He was very quiet when it was 3-0 Manchester United, then he piped up afterwards. But Erik ten Hag, what are your honest thoughts of him this season, Mr Singh?
He's a massive bum.
But why? You can't just say, you say a statement like that. There needs to be some critical evidence with that. Why do you say that?
I am quite sympathetic for Man United fans because what they've had to suffer this season, you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. I think the famous stat that everybody's talked about is how many shots they have attacked on their goal every game. But every team in the league that has a decent chance of beating them. Embarrassing to watch. I said to one of my mates the other day that I get insulted that I waste my time watching them play football. That I could have used my an hour and a half doing other things. And the reason I'm critical about Ten Hag is that as a manager, you bask in the glory when it goes well, so you have to suffer the consequences of when it goes wrong. There isn't any future I see of how the team can progress. You know, this season their playing style is awful. Nobody knows what Man United style of play is. There's no consistency in the performances of the players. You know, you've got gaps all over the place. It's the same old story. Recruitment's bad. The players he's bought from Ajax, you know, people like Anthony, what's the guy done? His goal record was appalling. I think defenders have got a better goal record than Anthony in the last 2 seasons. Everywhere you look, it's fail. And the worst thing is, they're embarrassing to watch. You know, style of football is something we warned about on the last debate about Moyes. Style of football is a litmus test whether a manager is good or not. Tell me, seriously, where does Man United style of football rank in the whole Premier League? Even Burnley have a decent style of play because you know they're playing out from the back.
No, it might be, but the thing with style of play is it kind of gets swept under the rug if your results are there. And Manraj, I'm going to come to you with this question. The results haven't been there for Manchester United either this season. And where do you think it's gone wrong?
Big part to play is injuries.
Yep.
But
Wrong.
that comes down to the manager as well. You know, you're hearing reports every week, injury this, injury that, and Ten Hag saying my players are unfit. It's just mind-boggling to see he's working them harder and harder every week, knowing the risk of injuries. And I think part of that is down to the manager, but also part of it is just on the pitch, it's just the lack of effort that it looks like. Just all over the pitch, it's just lethargic. It's not like don't give a shit.
Mr. Singh, you're not really accepting
Just
that
a myth here. And fair, Gary Neville, I don't really respect as a pundit because I think he gets too emotional, but he's made a very good point the last few weeks. The teams that are playing right now for Man United, 9 of the 11 are the first team players. What injuries?
Yeah, but you got to give you got to give perspective over a whole season.
It's Gary Neville, not me. It's Gary Neville.
You got to give perspective.
It's Gary Neville saying it though.
Yeah, but that's Gary Neville's opinion. But he's like you said in that key. Last 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
We're talking about a whole 34, 35 game season.
What team doesn't have injuries?
I mean, Lisandro Martinez, his first choice centre back Manchester United, he's basically been injured the whole season.
Varane, we know Varane's a dodgy record.
Sorry.
Maguire's missed out the season.
When Man United leave the whole 60-yard space between the box of their own and the attacking box empty, is that Lisandro Martinez covering that for you?
No, I get. No, that's going to get onto the next point about that style of play. Like, I don't know if you've
Thank God
seen.
for Manu. If Manu hadn't been revealed,
that was a revelation this season. That's potentially saved Ten Hag's job a lot earlier.
If that saves his job, then I've got a chance in football, man.
No, but what I'm saying is he was a key part because at that time Casemiro wasn't really playing well. He was injured as well.
Casemiro, wow, great investment.
I mean, at the start of last season, and we're going to go on to last season, but start of last season, he was meant to be the saviour for Manchester United.
So tell me where he is then.
But this season hasn't really worked out. Maybe that's a long-term issue at Manchester United. But last season, you talk about the results and all this and all that.
Quite funny.
What do you think of Ten Hag last season, though? Because you say football fans are fickle, but last season he seemed to have done a good job, no?
Why?
He got Manchester United top 4. He got them the Carabao Cup as well.
Okay,
fine, they lost the FA Cup final, but it's a pretty decent season for someone who the season before Man United were struggling, had Ragnick as well there, had all those issues.
Yeah.
Do you not think that was a successful Erik ten Hag last season?
Okay, and then Ten Hag should have progressed from last season, shouldn't he? Because last season was successful.
I agree, but wouldn't you
So
say he
what's
overachieved last season, or do you think he was on par with where he was meant to do last season?
But winning a trophy, finishing in the top 4.
Do you think that was on par for what Manchester United, considering the season before
I thought
they had?
I thought you were the richest club in the world, and now your target is just top 4 and winning a trophy.
You have to think, as Manraj says, perspective.
No. Listen, set your boundaries, yeah? If we now think that Man United, because here's the thing, right? If we accept that Man United's short-term ambitions are to finish in the top 4 in a trophy, that's a certain standard you assess a manager against. I don't consider that to be the standard that Man United aspire for. I think they aspire to be in the top 2 teams in the league.
Agreed.
And that's a standard that I says Ten Hag against. That's where he's a shit show.
But you need to be realistic as well, Mr. Singh. You can't honestly say, whilst I do agree, being a Man United fan, we'd love to win the league. But we have no divine right.
Financially, commercially, operationally, maybe, but the first two, you're the best in the world at that.
Yeah, but for the last 10 years, you can't really say that. I mean,
Well, no, financially, you are the best, but I think
operationally, though.
Operationally, no, but then that's where Ineos are going to come in and probably revamp that. There's a clear structure being put in place.
Tell me this. I accept all that, yeah? Tell me this. Every game Man United play, make a base unit idea, I don't know. Sheffield United came to your ground and took the lead twice. Sheffield United were one of the worst teams in the Premier League. You know, when the season started, people were saying, well, Sheffield United beat Derby County's 11-point record.
That was true.
How are they coming to Old Trafford and taking a lead twice? It's like a Brentford game. Brentford won that 21-1. I'm saying if it was the odd game here where the players were tired, you had the odd game there where somebody got sent off, but continuously every game, same old complaints. It's too much space in the field. No strategy.
No strategy, no defensive
had to attack the game. No playing style. That's Ten Hag's responsibility.
I agree, and that's that stubborn style of play which you mentioned about the gaps.
I mean, he's had a whole season to get it better. But it's the same problem as that exists now.
He's too stubborn. He's too stubborn.
So, on what basis can Ten Hag argue he should stay in the job?
Because it goes back to the argument about Pochettino, which I hope you guys check that video out. Which manager out there can come into Manchester United, realistically, and change it?
Thomas Tuchel.
100%.
But Thomas Tuchel, do you honestly think with the squad that Manchester United have right now, he can change the fortunes?
It's a very similar squad to what he had at Chelsea, and what he did is, first thing, he made them solid. And Tuchel's a very adaptable manager. Probably with this current crop of United players, I don't think a 4 at the back suits them. I think Tuchel will probably get him a 3 into the back, and he'll build it to give people like Fernandes and Rashford, right, here attacking responsibilities. But the defensive, we're going to be solid here. I'm going to have Casemiro, Mainu, and a 5 at the back. Then from there, progress. I think Tuchel, he'll do an excellent job, but I don't think Ineos will go after that type of manager.
Short-term manager. They want the long-term project.
Tuchel, if they want to win and win straight away and get back to that United way and that standard, I think Tuchel's the man to go to.
Definitely, but I still am baffled by that style of play that we try and play. First, Ten Hag came out last season, I remember, and he's talking about possession and all that. Then he changed to high transition style of football. Now this season, like you said, the gaps we have in our team, we just have goals and shots galore coming.
But Ten Hag's lucky that somehow, because people now understand how rubbish Man United are, he's getting away with a lot of stuff. When has Ten Hag's job been under pressure where overnight people are saying he's going to get the sack, or loads of hype around, he's out the door tomorrow? Everywhere it seems to accept that there's a reason why he's so rubbish at his job, so we'll keep him in the post. I can't believe that nobody's putting pressure on him.
I think it was the FA Cup game. I think the Liverpool one, if he lost that, I think they would have sacked him.
But then here's another question. Should he win the FA Cup? And I do want to go back to 10 years ago, where Louis van Gaal actually won the FA Cup, but he actually lost his job basically at Manchester United. If he does win the FA Cup, do you think he stays in for next season?
No.
Do you think that romanticised aspect of the game will mean he gets to next season?
Van Gaal left, surprisingly, because of style of football, which they wouldn't mind that.
Which is the irony right now.
No, but they wouldn't mind that now, though. The defensive solidity that he brought. But I think, if he wins a trophy, he probably gets another half a season, but I think he's a bum. Because it's easy when things are going well to be good. When something goes wrong, have you got adaptation in your armory? Can you find a strategy? Can you cajole your players? Can you get something out of them? On all those planks, he fails. I think the quicker you get him out the door, the better. What Premier League team would have him as a manager?
It's funny because I read a great piece on Twitter. I think their best game this season was that first half against Copenhagen, where it was actually Ten Hag's principles of play that we saw at Ajax, which was control. We're going to move the ball through the final third, and when we're defending, we're solid defensively, but we're going to control games. And it's just staggering to see he goes away from it, and in his press conferences, it's what I'm doing is right, and there's just that stubbornness. He doesn't want to change, and he's had a couple of fluky results in the cup. Yeah, salty Liverpool fan talking. Yeah, but at the end of the season,
the whole league's been a fluke.
Yeah, I mean that week, Brentford, Chelsea, Liverpool. They could have lost 4-0.
Go even further back. It's a joke. It's a disgrace.
There's been many games this year where we have got away with it, but you mentioned Gary Neville earlier on in the segment, and obviously he mentioned his love for Dutch managers. As a Liverpool fan here, and he might be having a Dutch manager come next season. But right now, this Dutch manager, not a lot of love lost with him. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on Erik Ten Hag, the situation at Manchester United. Do you think he will be there next season? And if he isn't, who do you think is the right man for Manchester United? Is it a Tommy Tuchel, or is it someone completely different? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you smash a like if you haven't already done so. Share with your friends and family, and subscribe to Sani-That Sports Guy if you haven't already done so. But as always, until next time, peace.